Hi, day 2 of week 2. So what I wanted to tell everybody today, as I was talking with somebody the other day about finding the time to fit these in, and we were talking about mornings, which is what works for me, but it had me thinking. I know that you guys have probably noticed that I do this around 7:30, but I tell you that I get up at 5:30. So what I was telling this particular person is, or at least I don't know if I said it out loud, but I was thinking it in my head, is start your day with you before you do anything for anybody else. And even this morning I was like, oh, well, I should just do the 5-minute video for the group so they have it at 5:30. And then I thought, no, I'm getting up at 5:30 to do this for me, and then I will do the video. It will happen. So if you're working from home and you're working from home at 8 or 9 or whatever time, that will happen. And take care of you first. So whether that's sitting and reading for 5 minutes, doing this video for 5 minutes, whatever, take care of you first, because what happens is if you start to take care of everybody else, then you're not gonna prioritize yourself, or most likely not. I know I wouldn't. So I know if I started with this video for you, then Teddy would probably wake up, then Ben might come downstairs, and by the time I got to me, maybe I'd do my workout, but I wouldn't be focused at all. So whatever that time is for you for the morning, start with you. Give yourself that couple of minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be half an hour. Just give yourself something. So that being said, let's get started. I'm going to show you this one with optional weights, totally optional. Water bottles work. Nothing works as well. We're balanced on one leg. Okay, if you need to hold on to a wall or something, that's fine too. Take that same arm, bring it up, and then we're just bringing our knee to our elbow. So this can be done with or without a weight. I'm holding a weight, but just pretend I didn't have one. I just don't feel like putting it down. So if you don't have a weight or you don't want to use one, if you wanted to make it a little bit harder to balance, bring that other arm up, with or without the weight. So you could have the weight in one arm and not the other. So you're working your balance and stability. Pull those shoulder blades down your back. You're also working your obliques. We'll do 2 more on this side. We're working the top of your thigh a little bit on the moving leg as well. Bring yourself back to center. You can bring your arms down. Find your stability on the other leg. Arm up, leg lifts, in and out. Remember, the weight is optional. You can also tap your toes to the ground between sets. Bring that other arm up if you'd like, pulling your abdominal muscles in and up. So don't let your stomach sort of just forget that it's working. That's helping with your balance. Shoulder blades down, back is working, helping with your balance. 2 more. And last one. Ben's doing his reading time in the back. I realize it's a perfect thing to do in the tent in the morning. Okay, so I just threw those. Be smart with your work area. If you do have weights, probably don't throw them or leave them on the ground like that. All right, so next, calf work. We're gonna start with our toes out, heels in. If you've ever done Pilates with me, you know you've done this series. Your feet can be touching or a little bit wider. Belly button in, shoulder blades down. We're just gonna lift onto our toes and lower down. We've got a total of 3 different positions for our feet. So trying to keep your heels connected if they're connected at the bottom. If they're not connected at the bottom, obviously they're not gonna be connected at the top. The wider your feet are, the more stable you'll be. So let's lift and hold now. Everything pulls together and up through your center, shoulder blades down, breathing. So in through your nose, out through your mouth is a great way to breathe to help with blood pressure. Lift a little higher. If you feel like you're falling over, find one spot to look at. That'll help with your stability. And then lower down. Feet parallel. So you should be feeling this in your calves. Now let's lift and lower. So on this one, parallel and hips distance or wider. If your feet are touching, just separate them a little bit. So I want them hips distance to help with just what's happening through your hips as well. 2 more here. And then lift and hold, shoulder blades down, belly button in. Keep breathing, find that one focal point, and then lower. All right, toes in, heels out. Now remember, so I have a pole here. I don't know if you can see it. If you need to hold on to something, ideally something next to you, not behind you, you can always place your hand on something for a little balance. Top of a chair, child's head, toes in, heels out. So we're working all around our calf muscles. Notice I keep going like this. That's just my mental way of remembering, okay, what should I be engaging, even though what I'm moving is really working my legs. You might feel this all the way up through the back of your legs as well. And lift and hold, My calves are on fire, so if yours are, just because I'm smiling doesn't mean mine aren't. Shaking a little too. So just hold and then lower down. All right, let's do a quick calf stretch. So you're just gonna bring one leg behind you, heels down. You can bend that leg, chest up, feeling the stretch through that calf. And then other side. So you're feeling it through the back leg. Heels down, slight bend at your knee, spine lengthen, chest up. All right, next, cardio, standing cardio. Bringing one leg in front, bending that leg. We did this the other day. Back leg straight behind us, arms overhead, and you're just driving your knee in between your hands. If you wanted to add a little resistance, sorry, that was funny for me to do. Anyways, little resistance, grab your weights, okay? Doing both legs, you can slow it down or you can speed it up, okay? If you have weights, I don't want you to add this option, but if you don't have weights, you can add a little jump at the top, okay? One more here, and then switch to the other side. So knee up, as if you had a piece of wood between your hands and you were just cracking it in half with that back knee. You can add the weights or the jump. Be mindful of your form. A little faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I got your heart rate up. Now we make our way to the ground. On the floor here. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. You're gonna bring one leg straight behind us and then just lift and lower this leg. As you lift your leg, you're hinging at the hip joint. We're not changing the curve of our spine, so that's what not to do. Keeping your spine lengthened, hinge just at the hip joint. Long leg, so focus on lengthening from your hips all the way to your toes, and then lengthen your spine from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Now let's lift and hold, bend and extend. If it's uncomfortable to be on your palms, you can be, on your knuckles here, neutralizes your wrist, or if you still have those weights, you can always hold on to weights. That helps some people as well. 2 more. And then lower this leg down. Push your weight over to the side, stretch out a little bit, and then come back to do the other side. How many books did you read?
3.
Perfect, that's perfect. Lift and lower this other leg.
I want to read 4.
Perfect. So we're gonna lift that other leg up, hinging at the hip joint. Pull those shoulder blades away from your ears. Try and broaden your chest here. So we don't wanna round out our back. Keeping that spine lengthened. We're looking somewhere where our fingertips are. So for me, that's the top of my mat. Engage those obliques as you lift your leg. So that's the side of your abdominals. And then lift and hold, feeling your glutes and hamstrings, top back part of your leg, bend and extend. Pull those shoulder blades down your back. If you find that you can see your knees, just lift that chin up a little bit. We don't want to strain our neck. 3 more here. 2. And then last one. And then you can lower this leg down, push your way over to the other side. And then we'll come back to center. Hands under your shoulders, just finishing with a stretch. So rounding out our back, tuck your chin to your chest, separate those shoulder blades, curving our spine. Try and draw your belly button to the ceiling. And then let your tailbone press up as your collarbone presses forward. So the visual I like with this one, so pull those shoulder blades down, is it's sunny out and you're trying to get a tan on your collarbone. And then round out your back, chin tucks towards your chest, separate those shoulders. Lifting that tailbone up again, push that collarbone forward, get your tan. 1 more set, rounding out our back, separating our shoulders, tuck your chin to your chest, curving our spine as our tailbone tucks under. And then last one. Collarbone presses forward, shoulder blades backing out. And then you can bring yourself back to the center of your mat or your blanket or your floor. That's day 2. We've got 5 more days of this, and then we'll move on to the next. In Connecticut, we just found out April 20th for schools at the soonest. So that's another month from now. So I'll have to figure out what to do after that, because I'm going to continue this through at least when Ben gets back to school. So if anybody has anything they'd like to see, if not, after the master move, maybe I'll come back to the 5's again and just do different moves or workouts. But anyway, remember, take time for yourself in the morning before you do anything for anybody else. You could easily sleep in for 5 to 10 minutes. So if you get up, do something with those 5 to 10 minutes. Don't feel like you need to get up and start moving for other people, because it's really easy for us to do that. And it's not the case, because you wouldn't have felt guilty necessarily about pressing snooze. So why feel guilty about taking that 5 minutes for yourself if you wake up? All right, have a great day, everybody.